And more news coming in. Let's tell you about day 3 of the big picture as far as the war is concerned in Iran. Race of Iran missile versus interceptor of US allies. UAE, Qatar, Kuwait may run out of interceptor missiles. US bombings are hitting Iran's missiles and nuke stockpiles. Israel is targeting Iranian police stations. Israel aims to weaken Iran regime's control. US is jamming Iranian communications satellite. Localized Iranian units are targeting West Asia. Iran fighters are still airborne. US Israel yet to have full control of Iran airspace, and that's the reason why it has been said by the American president that this is a war in continuum. Shahed drone emerges as Iran's most effective weapon. That's the information that we have as far as the big picture in the war is concerned. Well, there is a reason why the American president has spoken about this war continuing to up to 5 weeks, because the big picture clearly looks like Iran isn't succumbing to pressure at this point in time. On the other hand, as far as UAE, Qatar, Kuwait are concerned, they could be running out of interceptor missiles, and that may in fact spell problem at this point in time.
And let's also now take a look at the top developments, what all unfolded on the third day of the West Asia war, which was yesterday. So it's a race of Iran missile versus interceptor of US allies. Remember, Iran is not attacking United States but its allies, and now it's a competition between the Iranian missiles and the interceptor which is present in these allies, which include the UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, and it is also being said that they may run out of interceptor missiles. Now, what is important to note is that these nations are not used to having wars, are not used to having these missile attacks, unlike the other countries, unlike Israel. So it is being said that the allies of United States, which includes UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, these may run out of interceptor missiles if these attacks from Iran continue. Now, US bombings hitting Iran's missiles and nuke stockpiles. So after the death of the supreme leader, now what the United States is targeting, what is on its target is the missiles, the underground missiles and the nuke stockpiles. So United States is bombing Iran in order to destroy its missiles and the nuclear stockpiles. Israel is targeting Iranian police stations. Now, why is this being done? Israel is particularly targeting the Iranian police stations because Israel wants that there's a law and order situation and there's unrest which is there in Iran after the death of supreme leader. So that is why Israel is also targeting the police stations in Iran. Israel aims to weaken Iran's regime control, and that is exactly why it is targeting the police stations which are present in Iran. The United States is jamming Iranian communication and satellite. That's another crucial move being taken by the United States, that it is attempting to jam the Iranian communication and satellite. And meanwhile, if you talk about Iran, the localized Iranian units are targeting West Asia, and Iran fighters are still airborne. So as we earlier mentioned, that Iran continues to attack the West Asian nations which are also allies of the United States, and US and Israel are yet to have full control of the Iranian airspace, and that is exactly why Iran is still able to carry out these strikes, these attacks on the West Asian nations which are the allies of US. Shahed drone emerges as Iran's most effective weapon. So this is the drone that is the most effective, the strongest weapon that Iran currently has. And in fact, remember, this was also seen flying in Dubai freely. We were showing you the visuals also of the same. So these are the latest developments, the top developments, what all unfolded on the third day of the West Asia war.
That's right. Rohit continues to be with us. I want to ask you, Rohit, how is America looking at a situation where these countries, where UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, pretty much caught in crossfire here, are looking at, given that the interceptors could be running out of the interceptor missiles, and that really could spell a lot of trouble for these countries. How does America look at the situation, given that the American president has said the war is continuing for 5 weeks or so?
Well, on the interceptor missiles, I think there was a correction, or there was a statement used that by I think, if not mistaken, it was Qatar or Bahrain, one of them, saying that the Bloomberg report is wrong, that they still have stockpiles and they're not out of the interceptor missiles. So I think they were asking Bloomberg to essentially correct this story, which was written a few hours ago. But in terms of supporting these countries, I think it is but natural for America. America has been the quote unquote net security provider for this region for the longest time. It has built military bases in this region. America has great relations with these countries, and in a way, I think it probably is dawning on the Americans that apart from defending their own interest and their own bases and their own citizens, they also have to ensure that the region and its security is taken care of. Now, one thing that this war has done is it has united these countries against Iran, and nobody expected that to happen. In fact, Saudi Arabia, never expected that this would happen to them as well. So yes, there is going to be concern now if Iran does unleash what we've been told as the weapons they have been hiding from the West, and if they have those weapons and those capabilities, which again Pete Hegseth this morning said that this would expose the regime and the weapons that they've had all these years, then I think it would be very dreadful for these countries and also for American interests, American bases, and American people in that region. So we'll have to wait and watch how this unfolds. America is preparing a fresh barrage of attacks on Iran as we speak. We may see that happening in the next 10, 12, or 24 hours or so. But that also means that Iran must be preparing something similar. So I think it is a very difficult situation. I think we'll see a lot of things happen, escalation take place. And as we were talking earlier, there could be a lot of casualties also, not only Americans, but also the other countries in West Asia.
Absolutely. So as US vows that this war will continue at least for 4 to 5 weeks. On the other hand, Iran continues to escalate attacks on the US allies, which include the West Asian countries, including UAE, Kuwait, and Saudi.